always easy to say, like, you should just kill them. Should
Yeah.
just kill this person.
But
Should just kill this person. And Rick definitely tries. He does the whole fake out with I'm going to count to 10, I'm going to count down from 10, start shooting on 6. But even that, like, doesn't work.
I know.
He's trying to give people a chance to come out of the sanctuary, come to his side. He's got to play it carefully, because the second he starts firing guns, if he doesn't have things exactly his way, this whole thing's going to go down.
If that's the way you suspend your disbelief, and I understand that, because you have to. I mean, to a certain degree, I'm being selfish for me to say that I can't suspend my disbelief. Yeah. I admit to that, and I'm saying for the good shows that we could call them out and say, why don't they be more efficient? I feel like those are the reasons why they're the better shows, because you're able to suspend your disbelief like a lot easier than you could with The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the things I'm just like, how many times could they just have shot Negan without remorse, without even thinking that the energy he exuberates would have stopped him from a bullet.
Sure, but I think the show has shown us that. The show has tried to show us that in the past. And in my opinion, done a pretty bad job of it. But
of course,
when Rosita. Right. She had the same idea as you. I'm just walking up to him. I'm going to shoot him in the head.
But the bat saved him.
And it's like, how many times is that bat really going to save him? How many times can people really miss him?
Exactly.
And fire like 2-3 feet over his head?
He points the finger leaving Alexandria last. Yeah. And somehow everybody missed their rounds on him. It doesn't make any sense. You could even hit the... It just... I don't get it. I mean, I know they're amateurs firing a gun, but it made no sense.
No. But at least the show's aware of it. If Rosita's aware of it, the show's aware of it.
So he's invincible. So Negan's immortal.
For now.
Because as long as his contract says so.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I can't stand.
But some people have contracts and they'll get killed off and still get paid.
I'm just saying, can you just write something, believable for him to think that, if the solution wasn't to shoot him right away, just don't do it.
Sure.
That's all. That's my heavy criticism here, and that's what I call a part of the laziness of this episode, and on a grander scale. But yeah.
All right.
I've exhausted everything I needed to say for this scene anyway. So
okay, we'll move on. We'll move on from that.
Thank you for listening, by the way.
You're welcome. So Rick, unintimidating as ever, I think, here. His first tactic here is just saying his first tactic is saying their names. It's like, you're Dwight, you're Simon, you're Gavin. I don't care that he knows their names. It's not impressive.
Well, like I thought you said, he didn't know who Regina was.
But he didn't even know. It's like, and you?
I don't know your name. It's such a weird name.
And she says her name. She says it. It's like, why are you telling him your name? And what does it matter?
She doesn't care because she's Negan.
It's not pre-apocalypse time. If he knows her name, he's not going to go to the cops. He's not. I don't know. So Rick tries his old surrender and survive routine. Nobody takes him up on the offer. I think Gavin was a little, he's like, maybe. He's like, can we just think about this for a second? But Simon brings Gregory out now. He's a secret weapon. Gregory is not a good secret weapon to have.
No, at all. I think they knew that too.
So he's from the Hilltop. This is where he disappeared to. He tries announcing that the Hilltop is with Negan. But they are not. They're with Maggie. And it's pretty obvious. And Simon just pushes Gregory down the stairs.
I would just want someone to say, you're not coming home. Or someone to say, no, Gregory, you're not coming back to Hilltop.
Just so Petty's like, no, you're not.
The Simpsons with the beer baron. It's like, wherever you are, beer baron, I will find you. No, you won't.
They kind of did that with Jesus, being like, the Hilltop's with Maggie.
He got his word in.
Yeah. There's an explosion off in the distance now that takes out some of Negan's lieutenants, and Rick, with unwarranted cockiness, I still think, starts counting down from 10. Pulls a sucker punch, only counts down to 7 instead of saying 6. Just starts firing.
I think that's cooler. I don't know.
It's cool, but I didn't
personally have a problem with it. This time I didn't have a problem with that. It's a shame I can't agree with you on that one, but
I just feel like, for as bad as Negan is, he has a little more honor than Rick. Because if Negan says he's going to count down, he's going to count down. He's even going to get to 1.5, 1 and.
But it warrants. I think Rick warrants the sucker punch for how much Negan has put him through. So I feel like it's warranted.
It would have been warranted if he had killed Negan with the sucker punch move, but now he didn't.
Now you're on the same page. I'm kidding. You've been on the same page.
Well, because he did it. He did do what you wanted. He just shot at him.
Right.
Because he had a good line of sight, but he wasn't able to do it because Negan's not ready to die.
Man, if we're going to talk about Not Ready to Die, I mean, it gets even worse later. So when we get there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So now they've just decided they're going to fire off all their rounds, break every window.
For no reason.
Foolhardy some. Well, for two reasons. What do you think this is a foolhardy move, David, or do you think that they are doing this for a purpose? Because I mean, they're accomplishing two things.
I just feel like they're vandalizing more than anything.
They are vandalizing. Okay, so three things: vandalism.
Only me is vandalism. That's all I got.
Yeah. But the other two things they're accomplishing here: they're drawing all the dead towards them.
Okay. Yeah.
All the gunshots, all the glass breaking.
Yeah.
They're also showing that they have no shortage of bullets. It's kind of like a power move.
But they made a huge shortage right there.
They did. But if you're Negan, if you're the saviors, you got to think, it's like, man, they're just firing to break our windows. Like,
and he said
they have the weapons, they have the guns. Like, we might not be able to take them on.
And they criticized directly, saying you guys don't have the manpower, the quantity.
Yeah. And so this is kind of they're just showing I don't think they're bluffing here, because I think they do have.
I think they're bluffing largely, actually, because they're still using the walkers to their advantage.
Oh yeah.
So
So meanwhile, Daryl now is riding his motorcycle, blowing up the season's budget with every explosion. That's
CGI. It's CGI.
Not all of it. Some of that was a real explosion. I mean, I'm saying
the ones with the vegetation was not heard in the background.
The stuff out in the distance. No. But a lot of that, like, I mean, it's not costing that much. You're just rigging some explosives and you're just blowing up an old car.
I mean, what's he firing exactly? It's not a flare gun. I don't understand what that is.
I thought it was just his gun, but he's like firing it into like a tub of gasoline.
Oh, it's every time? That's not supposed to work. It works in Michael Bay's films, but in reality, it's not supposed to work.
Like actually just fire. But I think they rigged this to work. Like,
I hope so.
If it moves, I think it's just it
wasn't like Dawn of the Dead remake where they just fired at every single gas tank.
Everything explodes. But I think they definitely rigged this.
I hope so. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I
explode.
I didn't bother looking at that, but
pretty good scene. I mean, just you can't argue with a scene of Daryl riding his motorcycle, just firing off and blowing things up.
You got that second season of Ride to whatever.
What's the crossover?
But what's it called?
I don't know. Ride or Die.
No, it's not. Doesn't matter. But like I saw upon watching, I was just watching those ads too. So it's just
I don't know.
So it looks pretty cool. But he's never coming to Canada, so I don't really care.
No, too cold.
And the roads aren't good in Quebec, for those who aren't familiar.
Well, skip over Quebec for sure. Rick and his team have to leave now.
No, Montreal, actually.
Time to get out. Time to get out of this sanctuary. Yeah. Father Gabriel makes Rick get in the car, but just before Gabe leaves, he sees Gregory in need of help and goes to save him.
You neglected something, though, just a bit before.
What?
The whole, it's not about you.
Yeah, but I talked about that once.
I know. You have to mention when they mention it again, because there's a reason why they did it. Because if you emphasize it the first time, you gotta emphasize it the second time.
He uses Rick's original words against him, and he's like, Rick, it's not about you. And Rick says, like, fine. But he does fire a few more shots and then takes a Polaroid.
I almost feel like he was having an impulse like, shut up, father. He shot him in the leg or something.
What do you think this Polaroid is for?
What Polaroid?
Well, he took a picture of the place.
Yeah.
He grabbed the Polaroid out of the car. And
my brother and I, we chuckled. Like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But like, I felt the second, my initial thought was a chuckle, and then my second thought was like, that's kind of cynical. Is he stooping down to Negan's level?
And it's kind of what I mean. It's no Bastion brains, but it's still damage you're doing. Why are you taking this as a trophy?
I don't know. I figured there's a lot of smoke too. I'm curious to see what that Polaroid turned out to be. Cause,
super blurry.
Yeah, it has to be super blurry. Someone's like, I took a picture of blurriness, and I'm just like, well, okay, it's a cool nod to the trophy, but I don't see how pointless it was. But character-wise, I felt like, is he stooping down to Negan's level? No. Is that what they're playing with?
I don't know. Maybe it was a recon mission too. Maybe he took that picture. Now he knows where the front door is. I don't know. He had Dwight. I feel like
not
Dwight's
with a Polaroid.
Probably not. Gabe gets out of his car to go save Gregory. It was a huge mistake for Gabe because Gregory just abandons Gabe, steals Gabe's car, drives off, leaves Gabe to die.
I don't know why they're doing so much justice for Gregory for for comedy, for comic relief. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's one of those things, like, you can have the worst person on screen isn't Negan, and it isn't any of the saviors. It's just Gregory. It's like you want Gregory to, like, I want Negan to die for what he's done. Not yet though, but Gregory, I want him to suffer.
Yeah,
and I think he will, because I think when he shows up somewhere in,
I hope so,
Father Gabriel's car, he's not going to have long.
I don't think
a long time.
I think the father just set him 6 feet under, pasture, with the word of the Lord. But I find Gregory's more of a comic relief more than anything.
Yeah.
Because even just the way they decided to, I thought they executed him, but like when they threw him down the stairs, I'm just like, okay, well, I saw this in a comedy once. Like someone was just thrown off stage, it's okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just kill him at that point? He's useless. But I guess he wasn't worth the ammo.
Yeah, you could have pushed him a little harder. I don't know. Gabe deserves what he got though, because after all this, Gabe has not learned yet to not save everybody just because they look.
I don't know. You're wearing that collar, and as much as you've dishonored it in the past, you got to make right. And he kind of wishes he didn't see him. That's for sure.
How is that collar still so white?
I don't know. Well, he has a bunch of. It's made of paper, right?
But I do agree with you. I guess you can get more paper. I do agree with you that he probably wishes he didn't see him.
Exactly, for sure.
Because he doesn't look happy about it.
No, he doesn't.
And we got Carl leaving food for the guy who attacked him.
That was way
actually, no, didn't attack him. He got attacked by a microwave. And the note saying he's sorry.
Already? We didn't. Didn't you jump a gun here?
Nope.
Okay.
No, that was it. I mean, everyone leaves the sanctuary, and
then you already went to Carl. Okay.
Yeah, cuts right to Carl. Then we got Carol, Morgan.
Oh, right. Okay.
Some of those people, they go back and retake the industrial factory for some reason. I don't really know why they went back to this place, but they had a guy there who threw a grenade.
Right.
But everyone kind of seemed all right. Because
not really. Actually, I was more like...
they jumped out of the way, and we saw the explosion.
Yeah, I'm a little bored. The way I perceived it being like, okay, well, if this guy threw a grenade, I don't think it's over. There's more to this for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
It looked like they were okay, but I think something else was going on.
I just feel like at this point, when we see that shot of Rick, all teary, and we're going to see it again afterwards, and he has the water reflecting on his thing, and he says that line later on. I feel like that... I think that's gonna not predate, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna take place right after these current events, straight after. I think so. That's my theory.
You think he'd cry for anybody?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some sustainable losses. I think.
Okay.
I think so.
Because right now it seems fine.
Everything's going well, but you can't have a whole season and then winning all over again. And you gotta have some. Some challenges.
Yeah, and I say fine, but I mean, Father Gabriel's kidnapped. Not kidnapped, but he's held hostage right now. We'll get to that. We haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, no, when we get there, it's another frustrating thing.
Entirely his fault. Flash forward again. Actually, I haven't done that. We're going to get to it right now. That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We have at the perimeter of the sanctuary, overrun by walkers now. Gabe finds some safety inside of like a little trailer by the front door.
Those construction trailers, right?
Yeah. Negan is also holed up in there with them.
And Gabe has an automatic weapon that could easily be fired on Negan, but no, he's like, let's see where this is going. Let's see where Negan has to say to me.
Negan doesn't even try to get the gun away from him right away.
He has just Lucille on him. I guess if you have this dramatic, just like he spins Lucille to avoid every bullet or something, like in some stupid action movie. But like, this is where my disbelief is tested again.
Even with Father Gabe, because Father Gabe, he cowers.
I know, but he said goodbye to that when they had that first recon mission when they took out that entire compound, and like he just he used the Lord as an excuse, he looked all badass popping the ammo onto that shotgun and executed that. So I just feel like no, like at this point, like you have an automatic weapon, that's your best friend, just use it. Yeah,
but he's just been abandoned.
I don't care
by his own faith, and then
if Father Gabriel was not meant to take down Negan, Negan should have just snuck up behind him with Lucille and just maybe cross-checked him. Cross-check is an expression for is for checking with your blunt, is pushing somebody down with your blunt weapon, but not actually hitting with the blunt force.
Okay.
So something like that. At least do that. No.
Try something.
I don't understand. Just make it believable why he didn't use his weapon on him. And of course, they don't want to cater to that.
No. Now they got Father Gabriel as a
hostage,
and I don't think it's going to be enough. To get Rick to change his tactic.
Well, it didn't. Rick they've already moved on. We see it later, don't we?
We do.
But we don't know what the entire plan is either, because that's the first wave of their plan.
Yeah,
as far as we know.
So we pan out of that.
Right.
Also, kind of similar to the first episode, after the horse was eaten and Rick stuck in the tank. Now we have Father Gabriel stuck in the trailer with Negan. Come up, same idea. No gorillas in the background.
Unfortunately.
Flash forward to the dream scene. I'm calling it a dream scene now. I'm just going with it.
Because it looks like
probably just a future scene. I don't know. With Rick and Jude
No, Matthew.
Judith.
Just add the ITH, please.
Yeah. They're going outside to a festival that's going on in Alexandria.
It'd be funny if it's a festival filled with walkers going along with the parade.
Yeah.